Maoz Inon, thank you so much for being with us here on the BBC today. And I want to start by saying how sorry I am to learn of your losses. And if you wouldn't mind, to begin with, tell me a little bit about your parents.
Hi and hello, and thank you, Helena, for inviting me. Thank you, the BBC. My parents were amazing and loving person and people, and they were born. My mother was born in a kibbutz named Ruchama, and my father was born in a kibbutz named Niram, which is also in the news recently. And they got married and lived in the kibbutz for 20 years, where they grew up. Our family, my three sisters, me and my brother.
A loving family, and if you can, just tell us a little bit, if you are able to, about what happened to them last Saturday.
At Friday night, they dined with my sister family and other family members. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, and my aunt in Tel Aviv, which is about 50 minutes drive from Moshav Netiv HaSara. And at 11 p.m., after eating, laughing, and celebrating life and their grandchildren and their loving family, they went back home. They loved their house in Netiv HaSara. They loved the community of Netiv HaSara, and they went back home. And they were among the first victims of the Hamas attack, and their house was hit by a missile launched 50 meters from their house, and it burned, completely burned with them inside.
I am so sorry to hear that. How did you find out about what had happened?
Around 7:30, my father texted us in the WhatsApp group of the adults, we call it, that there are sirens and rockets falling, which is unfortunately kind of the normal, and that they are in the safe room. And I gave him a call a few minutes after just to check on them, and that's exactly what he said, that they are in the safe room, and there are many missiles and even fire around them. 5 minutes after, while drinking coffee, I tried to call him again, but that was it. I couldn't reach him since then.
That is a devastating situation, and I want to ask about how your family is dealing with this now. Of course, naturally, you are grieving, and at the same time, your country is also at war. How are you coping with these two huge things?
We have a very supporting family and community, and we've done the Shiva. It's the 7 days of mourning, and we've done it in our way, without a rabbi or without even a funeral. And so we are surrounded by loving people. That's how we are coping. And again, we are taking care of our children's and my parents had 11 grandchildren. But basically, after we couldn't reach our parents in Saturday morning, we knew we were prepared for the worst news, and we gathered together in my sister's house and waited for the news. And then about 5 in the afternoon, one of their neighbors called us and told us there is no hope for them anymore. And together with 18 others members of Netiv HaSara and hundreds, more than 1,000 other civilians from the communities exactly where we were grown. It's a catastrophe for the entire community. Some of them lost 10%, 20, 30%, maybe even more of the community members, and it's just devastating.
And so now, of course, as you know, we've got a situation in which Israel is preparing for a ground offensive going into Gaza. What are your thoughts on the military response that we've seen from Israel this past week?
Helena, I must tell you that I'm not crying for my parents. I'm crying for those who are going to lose their life in this war. We must stop the war. The war is not the answer. And I beg you, I beg all the viewers and listeners to do everything in your power to put pressure over everyone that is relevant to stop the war immediately, to freeze the situation. In our family, we are not seeking revenge. Revenge will just lead to more suffering and to more casualties. And even though it's the most horrible day, it was the most horrible loss in lives in Israel since the foundation of the country. I'm afraid that the numbers can be much bigger, an enormous number, and we must do everything to stop the war. And I'm afraid for the soldiers, for the civilians from both sides, from Gaza and in Israel, that will pay in their life. And this is why I'm crying, and this is why it was so important to me in this very hard time to go on this interview and to cry to the world, stop the war, please, just stop the war.
Maoz, I know that you have been working on projects to promote peace between Jewish and Arab communities. How do you think that this war can be stopped?
I believe in a shared vision that is based on partnership, that is based on equality, that is based on peace. We have to do more, and I promise myself that I will do more. I will dedicate my life to the memory of my dead parents, that will do all that is within my power to bring peace to this land. We must bring peace to this land. This is my promise, that I will do everything that I can.
Maoz Inon, thank you so much for being with us, and my condolences to you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.